Good evening. Here is the world news from our studio BGI TV. I am Monire Rebilolawal. First are the major headlines for the world news. 2023, we shall donate our hard-earned money to support you, group tells Shinopela. Activist urges politicians to fight crimes with massive youth employments. Go ahead and kill him, victim's relative tells bandits demanding 100 million naira ransom. Man 68 ducks over alleged attempt to steal. Calabar Abelis loses manhood to dog bites, dies buried. Karen protesters demand justice for raped pupil, seek arrests. Abductors of Play 2 Monarch demand 50 million naira ransom. Alleged elimination of Igbo, I was quoted out of context, spokesman. Nigerians must prepare to fight bandits, Masari. And to foreign, to save the children workers among the dead in Yemen massacre. And to sport, Arsenal versus Man City, Arteta test positive for COVID-19. Now the news in details. A group, Nigeria Youths in Politics, NYP, has declared its support for the presidential ambition of a member of the House of Representatives, Shinopela, ahead of the 2023 presidential election. The group, in a statement by its Vice President, Olufowobi Desmond, after a meeting in Lagos this week, said our mandate is to support young candidates in 2023, and Honorable Shino Abiola Pella is presently our candidate. Giving reason for the routine for the lawmaker, the group said because there is no single Nigerian who is more interested in the peace, unity, and development of the country than him, Shino Pella. Also, no Nigerian politician has trained Nigerian youth in leadership more than the founder of the Lead Generation Initiative, Honorable Shino Pella. Even if he refused to come out, we shall donate our hard-earned money to support his presidential campaign. This is our decision and we are not going back. The group said it will continue to support and propagate the ideals of Shinopela, adding that the entire youth of the Southwest region are solidly behind its candidacy come 2023. Shinopela is an entrepreneur come politician representing Isenyi, Itesuwaju, Iwajowa, Kadola Federal Constituency at the 9th House of Representatives. An activist and special assistant to the governor of Delta State on political matters, Austin Ozobo, has urged politicians to fight crimes in the Niger Delta region through massive employment programs, which include skills and vocational training, education, and moral development. Ozobo made the call on Wednesday at the Kiagbodo Annual Convention in Burutu local government area of the states. The activist, who was the guest lecturer at the event, thanked the Giabodo community for the rare privilege and honor given him to address the convention on the distressing national economy, submitting that the only way out of the doldrum lies in massive provision of gainful employment for the youths. He said, there is a saying that a society that fails to prepare for the future leaders is a failed society. Good parents will always prepare for the tomorrow by preparing their children to take over their reign. Nigeria, Ijaw Nation, or Kiagodo, as the case may be, can't be developed when the youth are suffering and sidelined in the scheme of things. All the speakers at the event were the Director General Conference for the Actualization of Human Rights, Omes Ogedegbe, Director General of CAHR, Delta State, Comrade Monday Enudi, the State Secretary of CAHR, Comrade Israel Aribe, Ex-Senator the Delta State Governor on Political Matters, Comrade Elitin Ebakumo, as well as the coordinator Niger Delta Northeast Boko Haram Victims Rehabilitation Movement, Comrade Dixon Jatito, among others. A yet-to-be-identified relative of an abduction victim reportedly told bandits to do whatever they wanted after they demanded a ransom of 100 million naira. In a telephone recording shared on social media on Monday, the family member, who is a brother of the victim, tells one of the bandits that he has not been able to raise more than $1 million as ransom. We have struggled and we could raise it's just $1 million. No one would want to lend us money now because it is Christmas period, the brother says in Hausa. The abductor replies, "If you want your relative released, go and solicit the money." Despite further pleas by the victim's brother, the abductor tells him he cares less about his excuses. "What is my business with any Christmas break?" he asks. "I am not aware of any break." Afterwards, the abductors ask, "How much was the original ransom you were asked to pay?" "We were told to pay 30 million naira. The victim's relative responds, but the response does not go down well with the abductor, who yells at the relative that the ransom originally demanded was not 30 million naira but 100 million naira. Obviously running out of patience as well, the victim's brother says, "If that is the case, go ahead and kill your captive. May God punish you if you fail to kill him." A 68-year-old man, Mr. Sunday Adeyemi, was on Wednesday arraigned before an Iyagoku Chief Magistrate's Court 6 Ibadan, Oyo State, for allegedly attempting to steal. Adeyemi is facing a one-count charge of an attempt to steal. The police said the offense was committed on December 18th at about 5:45 a.m. at First Bank Molete Branch, Ibadan. The accused, however, pleaded not guilty to the charge. The magistrate, Mr. T.B. Oyekomi, granted the accused bail in the sum of 50,000 naira and one shorty who must be of blood relation. The prosecutor, ASP Eyaromi Oluyemi, did not oppose the bail application. The case was adjourned till January 18, 2022 for hearing. Moving next to the next story, a 60-year-old Calabar herbalist named Annie Iko Neto reportedly died on Christmas Eve after having his manhood beaten off by his own dog in Calabar South. The popular herbalist was said to have been drunk before the incident. An eyewitness, who is a neighbor to the deceased, simply identified as Itoro, explained that the neighbors had already gone to bed when the herbalist arrived from the fatal drinking spree, with a handful still around and awake. When he came back, we had gone to bed, but some people were still outside. He went inside his room and slept off without shutting the door, and because of too much drink, he excreted on himself. His dog was outside, smelled the poo, and went inside to eat it. In the response and process, the dog ate his private part off, thinking it was meat or part of the excreta, Itoro said. The eyewitness further explained that the herbalist raised the alarm, prompting neighbors to rush into his apartment and discovered what had happened. When we heard him scream, we thought hoodlums had attacked him, but when we got there, we saw that his private part was gone and his dog had blood on its mouth, the neighbor said. Members of a group, Movement for Justice for Karen, have protested against the alleged delay in justice for a pupil of the Premier Academy, Lube Abuja, Karen Aput Akabe, who died after she was allegedly raped. The 14-year-old pupil was alleged to have died of an infection after a condom was found in her private parts. The SS1 pupil was alleged to have been sexually abused before she was withdrawn from school by her mother, Mrs. Venga Akpagbe, on June 19, 2021 for treatment. Premier Academy, however, said the abuse happened after she left its premises. Karen died 2 days later at a hospital in the Wuse 2 area of Abuja. During a protest on Tuesday at the Punch Place, Magboro, Ogun State, an activist, Ikem Anthony, accused the police and the school of not being proactive. He said late Karen was a student of Premier Academy Lube Abuja and died in June 2021. Until now, we have not heard anything. No arrest, nothing whatsoever. The abductors of the paramount ruler of PM Chiefdom, Charles Mato Dakat, has demanded 50 million ransom naira to free him. A source in the traditional council, who pleaded to be not to be named, said the abductors spoke with some members through the Monarch's phone. We were able to communicate with them. It was the paramount ruler who first called and spoke to us. Thereafter, the abductors talked to us using the paramount ruler's telephone. They told us that the paramount ruler is being treated well and is okay, and that they don't have the intention of harming him. You are watching the world news from BGI TV, and more to come. Olayomi Koike, the spokesman to the embattled Yoruba Nation agitator, Chief Sunday Adeyemo, popularly known as Sunday Igboho, has explained that he was quoted out of context on the alleged plot to eliminate his principal in Cotonou prison. Koike, while speaking with Vanguard via WhatsApp call on Wednesday, and the alleged elimination of his principal, a news which was credited to him, stated that there was no time, he said, they wanted to eliminate Igboho. He said, I was quoted out of context. I was referring to Professor Banjo Akintoye in my statement. I said, if they are planning evil against Professor Banji Akintoye and others, they are only trying, but God's power is superior. I further said, enemies are trying to eliminate Professor Akintoye, not Igboho, to silence the Yoruba Nation agenda. But on the issue of Igboho, the government of Nigeria is indirectly instigating its continued detention in Cotonou. But the Republic judicial system is no longer working again, and we are going to fight for our rights to the end. Igboho cannot be silenced like the way they killed MKO Abiola, Funshaw Williams unjustly. The Benin Republic President Patrice Talon is working continuously with the federal government to extradite Igboho to Nigeria. All Yoruba leaders must continue to fight. Igboho must get justice. Katsina State Governor Aminu Masari has urged Nigerians to be prepared to fight bandits terrorizing the nation. In a chat with reporters on Tuesday, Masari told residents to do their best to protect their neighborhood from attacks. He announced that telecommunication services would soon be restored in affected places. The state government recently lifted the ban on 10 out of the 17 local government areas. Masari commended the effort of security agencies and vigilance groups fighting outlaws. The Katsina helmsman advised residents to support operatives with timely and credible information on criminals. We must prepare to fight back as individuals to fight the bandits because they are evil and represent evil. By God's grace, we will not hand over this country to the next generation of leaders under this condition. We must restore normalcy, he said. You've been watching the world news from BGI TV. Now we're going to the foreign story. The United Nations called for an investigation following report that at least 35 people, including a child, were killed in a massacre by Yemen's military on Christmas Eve. 2 workers for Save the Children, a humanitarian organization, were among those killed, the London-based organization said Tuesday night. Photos of the charred remains of victims in tortured vehicles circulating on social media in Yemen, where activists say more than 1,300 people have died amid arrest since the military seized power on February 1 and ousted the country's civilian leader, Aung San Suu Kyi. I condemn these grievous incidents and all attacks against civilians throughout the country, which are prohibited under the international humanitarian law, UN Humanitarian Affairs Chief Martin Griffiths said in a statement on Sunday. Now, sports story. Arsenal manager Mikel Arteta has tested positive for COVID-19 for his second time and will miss the Premier League clash with leaders Manchester City on Saturday, the club said. The 39-year-old Spaniard's first positive test was in March 2020, which prompted English football to shut down as the pandemic took hold. He is the latest Premier League manager to test positive in the last few weeks following Aston Villa's Steven Gerrard and Patrick Vieira of Crystal Palace. A club statement read, Mikel Arteta will miss our match against Manchester City on New Year's Day after testing positive for COVID-19. Mikel is isolating in line with government guidelines and we wish him well. Arteta, whose side have rebounded from a disappointing start to rise to 4th place after winning their last 5 matches in all competitions, is still expected to conduct his Thursday press conference. This is really disappointing, Arteta said, quoted by BBC. That was the world news from BGI TV by Bagbagede Imo TV. But before we go, a quick recap of the headlines once again. 2023, we shall donate our hard-earned money to support you, Group tells Shinopela. Activist urges politicians to fight crime with massive youth employment. Go ahead and kill him. Victim's relative tells bandits demanding 100 million naira ransom. We also brought to you man 68 docked over alleged attempt to steal. Calabar Albanese loses manhood to dog bites, dies buried. Karen, protesters demand justice for raped pupil, seek arrests. Abductors of Plateau Monarch demand 50 million naira ransom. We also brought to you alleged elimination of Igbo. I was quoted out of context, spokesman. Nigerians must prepare to fight bandits, massacre. And to foreign story, like we brought before you, to save the children workers among the dead in Yemen massacre. And lastly, sports story, Arsenal versus Man City. Arteta tests positive for COVID-19. For more stories and updates of our programs on YouTube by Bagede Imo TV, kindly subscribe and click on the notification bell for updates. On Facebook, Bagede Imo with Alawiye Adebayo. Please like and follow the page for updates as well. On Instagram, Bagede Imo _22. For advert placement of goods and services and products, coverage of event functions, to mention a few, the phone number is right on your screen to call for prompt response. I am yours faithfully, Morire Rebila Lawal, still celebrating the festive period. May God continually guide and protect us towards the coming new year. Happy New Year in advance from BGI TV.